Two, one, and welcome. We should be live. Welcome to the Crypto Factor. Welcome to another show. Today we have a special show for you because right here we have the founder, Elixium, the founder of Candyland. There was just a rug pull. We're gonna get straight to the questions, see what happened, see his side of the story, because a lot of people they lost a lot of money. A lot of people are wondering what's going on. A lot of people are disappointed. But the fact that he's here, showing his face and talking to us, let's see what he has to say. First of all, Alec, thank you so much for doing this. Really appreciate it. And I think a lot of people out there also appreciate it right now.
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity, man. I appreciate it. It means a lot to me.
Awesome, man. And a lot of people are going to be asking questions in the chat, and anyone can ask their questions as well. We're going to do an AMA sort of a show so they can get their answers. But first of all, let's talk about Candyland, what it is, and then what happened. Because a lot of people out there watching the show right now don't know what's going on, don't even know about the project. Just a brief summary of Candyland.
Yeah, man. So Candyland is a community-oriented investment protocol for cryptocurrencies, known as a DAO. This is a reserve currency protocol. So you have like a coin or token similar to any other token, but instead there's a backing where you can stake the token and you can also mint the token and you get APY rewards, returning every 5 days or every 8 hours actually. And so I had a team around me. I had developers working on this, and we did our pre-sale a day ago, and we raised like 300K in 2 hours. But sadly, we had a rogue dev, and he pulled it. He should not have had access, but he did. And now I'm taking all the blame for it. But yeah, Candyland is supposed to be an investment platform and it's supposed to be secure. So I'll go into that more later.
All right. So how did this project start? Like, when did you start this project, first of all?
I started in the beginning of November. I really liked. I had discovered the protocol around mid-October, and I really liked it. I was making good money off of Wonderland Time. I was inspired by them, and also Hector DAO as well. So I decided to do my own thing because I've always wanted to get in this sphere. And granted, I was inexperienced with crypto development, but I learned quick. I'm big into real estate and music. I learned things pretty quick. So I had history investing in cryptocurrency in the first place, but I wanted to start my own platform, and I had a lot of ideas to integrate music, gaming, NFTs to the platform as well. Some new proprietary features, because I'm a pretty creative person. So I thought, hey, if I have the idea, I could find the dev and we could do it. So that was kind of my start process there.
So you had the idea, you're the entrepreneur, if you will, behind the idea. You need to find a dev to, get it going, to help you set it up and do all the dev work. Let's put it that way, just for lack of better terms.
That's correct.
Do you have another team? Do you have a team?
Well, my marketing team recently fell off from us, but I had 4 core members. It started with just me, my best friend, because we were trying to turn this into something big, and I had found another guy named Novair, and he was extremely helpful to the project. He did so much. He wrote articles for us. He was a big part of it. And then I took on Gator, which was he was a big part. He was part of the advertisement team. Then I had 3 devs. I went through 3 devs, different devs. I was having problems with them throughout the development, and it was really hard to really handle that because I was on a strict starting budget, to be honest, and I wanted to find a developer that could do it, but also and pretty quickly, because this is a gated industry, because there's so many DAOs popping up now, even though I started in early November. And then we have some staff members, or we did, so some of them left, but yeah.
Yeah. So what happened? What exactly happened, man? Because you had a pretty successful launch. I would say almost $300,000 as a launch, right?
Yeah.
Fortunately or unfortunately, there was a $2,000 cap, so nobody could spend more than $2,000, theoretically, right?
Yeah.
And then suddenly everything was going well. And what happened? Like, literally, what happened?
Well, I was looking at the account because I was trying to keep track of the number, obviously,
Right.
with my friend, the other founder in the call, and the money just disappeared. And I was at first I thought I was like dreaming or something. I couldn't believe that it just happened. I told my friend, he didn't believe me. He's like, stop fucking around, dude. And I was like, no, it's gone. And I verified it. I saw that my address was accessed, and that's when I knew one of the devs. It had to be one of the devs. I don't give my password out to anybody. It was MetaMask. I don't give I reset my passwords. I have random generated passwords and all my stuff. I mean, I'm dealing with a lot of money here. So I believe the dev got my password somehow and my encrypted key and my phrase via a node.js protocol. Script he had me run. And like I said, I'm inexperienced. I even verified, hey, should I run the script? And some people were like, yeah, that seems fine. Looks like a script you need to run to deploy. So out of my negligence, I think I probably gave him access to my wallet. And then I had no idea. It was a week he had my wallet, and I had no idea you can't change your private key. So that's just kind of how it happened.
In hindsight, do you feel you didn't have the experience to, maybe you rushed this a little bit, you rushed this project a little bit?
Yeah, in hindsight, I think probably. I guess I had a lot of launch pressure because I'm heading to Florida tomorrow. I'm there with family. Christmas is coming up. I wanted to try to get the launch going before Christmas. I guess I probably could have waited until after. We planned on launching the actual project after Christmas because logistically it made more sense because people are very busy during the holidays. Yeah, I mean, obviously in hindsight, I look back and I'm like, man, I should have put a multi-sig on the contract. That way, that's not just me that they need to verify to withdraw it. I would have had 5 other people that I would have had to verify it. I made a lot of mistakes, and I feel like a moron, to be honest. And you know, I'm suffering the consequences of that now. But I've learned a lot, and you know, the next time I go at this, I'm definitely not going to make these mistakes again. At all.
Where did you find this developer? Like, and how are you so sure it's the developer that did this?
So I used a server on Discord called Crypto Devs, and it's just a big server full of people who offer crypto services. There's a lot of scammers on there, obviously. They try to moderate it. Recently, they made a new rule where you have to be active to get the developer role because there's so many scammers. But I hired the first dev. I hired 3 different devs. I hired one dev, and I paid him in cash, right? And he basically forked the whole protocol. And a fork is basically a copy of another protocol. For those who don't know, he forked the protocol, and he seemed like he did a pretty good job. He gave me his real life information, you know, all that stuff, and so I trusted him, and I had all the contracts audited. So that's why I just didn't really think to not trust these people because the contracts were audited. And then I hired the other 2 on the same platform about 2 weeks or 3 weeks out from the launch because we needed somebody to develop the pre-sale landing page so they could like buy their tokens or claim their tokens, you know. And so the back end guy, I believe, I'm not naming his name yet because it's not 100% confirmed, but I really do believe it was him. He seems to have used a fake profile. He deleted his LinkedIn that he linked me. His GitHub that he deleted. So for more research, it looks like he was completely using a different alias. And I heavily believe it was him, but that's not the point. We found him on a Discord server. Some people are spreading misinformation that I found him on a forum called Hack Forums. That's not true. I found him on Crypto Devs. You can verify that. If you go, you'll see that he's in the Crypto Devs server, or he was anyways. So.
You had 2 developers working for you. Why couldn't you get a reference for the other? You had one guy that did the fork for you, the developer. Why didn't you just get references for other devs to help you out? Why did you have to go and just randomly pick someone?
I mean, in this space, it's very hard to find a dev, and we needed one really quick.
That's true.
So it's hard to okay. So it's easy to find a dev, but it's hard to find a trusted dev who can verify themselves, who's relatively affordable. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't have a big budget going into this. I spent pretty much all my money on this project, so I was really squished for money. So I really went with the budget option, and he just, I don't know, he just really convinced me he was experienced enough to do this, and I guess he ultimately played me. I mean, he linked me his LinkedIn, and the reason why I thought more to trust him was because I was planning on getting an audit on on all the contracts, and I did get an audit, and they found there was nothing wrong with the contracts. It's just what he just kind of, worked around that, and he kind of played me.
So wait a
But
second. So the audit didn't find the loop, the little back door there, the little loophole, whatever you want to
so
call it.
there was no technical backdoor. He technically did everything properly that I know of as of now. Um, for the contracts, it was a candy sale contract was used for the pre-sale. So the money was stored on that contract. My wallet, one of my wallets owned, MetaMask wallets owned that contract. So that contract could be accessed by my wallet. And so he somehow got access to my wallet, and I believe it was from the script he had me run. I'm going to release that in my Discord server, and show the steps of what I had to do. And maybe people that are more experienced can explain this to me. I'm not a developer. I'm an entrepreneur, and I like to, start things like this. So I just got played, man.
Wouldn't the audit find the script?
No, the script is on my side. It's on my desktop in a folder. The audit is a security audit that looks at the security of the contracts. They compare because I forked this. They compared the two codes for each contract, and they ensured all the functions were normal, no weird backdoor functions. There's a couple things they found that were very minor and minuscule, like some visual stuff. But other than that, I have the audit report, and you can even talk to the auditor. He would tell you the same thing. I even had a review done. People publicly reviewed it by somebody from the Olympians Discord, and he looked at them. He didn't see anything significantly wrong with them. So
we're gonna answer some questions from the public right now, but
sure.
if it was the dev man, and generally from what I'm hearing, I'm gonna be straight out with you. That's some pretty fucked up shit, bro. You totally fucked that shit up, bro. You know that,
Yeah,
right?
I know.
Now,
Definitely, man.
but kudos to you being here and actually showing your face on the channel, which it inclines me to believe what you're saying here, and I want to stress that. If you were gonna rug pull, you wouldn't be showing your face right now, being on the Crypto Factor in front of potentially thousands of views. You know what I mean? So I do believe you. I just believe it was a bit of an amateur move.
Right. Definitely. Can I mention something quick? I'm also KYC'd, means I'm privately doxed by a firm, Assured DeFi. Lots of other projects do this. I did this before I even started the project because I wanted to show people, look, I'm giving my real information to a firm that's going to release this into a law enforcement in the case that I rug pull. I care about my reputation a lot. Anyone that knows me knows this. It really hurts me to see this happen to me, but I need to move on, and I need to work it out. So that's why I'm on here. I'm going to face it. I'm not going to run away from it, and I'm going to fix it.
How are you planning on fixing it?
So we have some ideas. We're going to have to redeploy all the contracts because obviously they could be compromised. I'll be making a new wallet using a hardware wallet. We're going to use a launching platform for like IDOs, and it's going to be probably a fair launch. Everybody that purchased tokens before the pre-sale or received tokens from me for marketing or whatnot are going to receive an airdrop. We're going to try organizing that the best way we can. I'm going to be ensuring that I get a KYC trusted dev. I have a little bit of money left over for development, so I'm going to work on having that happen. And I want to get this to recover. I want the people who lost their money because of my negligence to get their money back. And I want I want Candyland to do well again and start taking off. It had a lot of hype, a lot of promise, and it hurts to see it die down. So I want to rebuild this. I know there's still people out there to support me and they believe me, and I appreciate that. So that's the plan.
Now, I leave you. Another thing I want to stress is that you actually reached out to me for me to do a paid review on this project on the Crypto Factor, and we actually agreed on an interview. And and I know you reached out to other YouTubers as well. So if you were going to do a rug, I think the timing is stupid because you would have got a lot more out of it if you waited. Let me ask you this though, and that's why I said I wanted to give you the chance to give your side of the story on the channel. A lot of people, I don't know if other YouTubers would do that or not, if they want to give you the chance to speak. Maybe they're scared of their reputation. But here on the Crypto Factor, we like to see every angle of the story. There's three sides to a coin. Pun intended. There's the heads, the tails, and the edge. we try to stand on the edge and look at all three sides. And we're gonna be asking some questions from the chat pretty soon. That I'm seeing here. I'm seeing some really good questions, some really hard questions. I'm gonna put you on the spot with this.
Fine.
But yeah, let me have a look, man. And by the way, you mentioned before we went on live, you got a lot of threats, like death threats.
Yeah.
That's insane, man.
Yeah.
And
I
you're
got
still
swap
here
threats.
showing your face. And you're still here
Yeah,
showing your face.
Definitely, man. I got a lot of. I mean, a lot of people were emotional and angry. They just lost $1,000 to $2,000. So I understand the initial reaction is, fuck this guy, man. He rug pulled me, and they don't logically think about. They don't look at the scenario, right? They only care that they lost money, and I understand that. I get that. Look, man, I've lost money too in this industry. It was a very, very, very volatile network. I'm not saying that's your fault. I'm just saying that I understand why you guys are angry at me. Death threats, don't really hurt me too much because I know a lot of them are out of anger. So I understand. But yeah, I've gotten a lot of death threats, and honestly, I've gotten more support though, believe it or not. People that believe me and trust me, DMing me over people that are pissed at me. So.
All right, one more question before I get to the chat, and that is this. Are you on track to find who did this? Have you got other people involved to help you find this person? What stage are you at right now?
Yeah, so yesterday I was dealing with a lot, obviously mentally and physically. So I was on and off, but trying to be as active as I could. And some people in my community were telling me that they might have found some leads on who it is, and we might have an identity. But we want to verify it before releasing it to the public because this is a serious issue. We don't want to identify the wrong person on accident. This guy could have been using fake aliases back to back to back, covering his tracks because he knew what he was going to do. So, yeah. Also, we have crypto forensics specialists that know what they're doing to track. If this guy, if he deposits his money into one Binance or Coinbase account, it's over, right? Like we can contact them and they can see the proof.
He's probably watching this, by the way.
Yeah, I understand that, but
yeah.
But what I mean, what is it? Look, if he's watching this,
he knows it already. He knows that already.
Yeah, exactly. If he's watching this, let me tell you something, man.
Hey, if you're watching this, like this video.
Yeah, like the video, man. No, you're good. Consider giving the money back, man, because you're not going to get that money out safely. So, send it back to the original address. Give the people their money back, and just go away. Make it be anonymous. Go away, and leave it at that.
Yeah, I think that would be the best thing for him to do. I'm pretty sure this is going to escalate, and you're going to do everything in your power. And you have specialists as well on his track, and they can even look at, if it gets serious, they can even look at deleted accounts, right? They can actually look that up. Just because you delete a LinkedIn account, it doesn't vanish forever. They have a backlog by law in LinkedIn. So if it is that guy that deleted his account, which probably is, don't know, but probably is. I mean, it looks that way. Don't know if he used his real information on there, but they can see how old the account is and so on. But yeah, it's a pretty tough one, man. I don't know why people do that. Well, obviously we know why they do it, but anyway. All right, let's go into the questions. Let's see what's going on here.
Sure.
First question: is there a giveaway? Okay, yeah, there will be a giveaway. Apparently, there'll be an airdrop. I'll just answer that for you. I'm sorry, but.
No, you're good.
Laura Mars 69 says you're a newcomer, right?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, it's the development field, yes. I've been in crypto for 8 years now, investing, trading. I mean, that's how I saved a lot of my money. So I'm not completely new and ignorant to crypto. I understand protocols and all of that stuff, networks, everything like that, blockchain. And I learned a lot from the good developers that I've talked to, and people surrounding me in the development space side of things. And I made a newbie mistake. So yes, when I started, I was newer, but I feel much more experienced now.
Oh yeah. Nothing like getting punched in the face and getting knocked out, learning how to box.
That's true. Yeah.
MT Coiner says, this is why I haven't built my brainchild. I'm too afraid to pay devs as they will probably rug or run away with the code.
Yeah. Can I give him advice? I would recommend you use somebody who docs himself and verifies himself. You do a video AMA, you do a video voice or chat with them, whatever you can to interview them and actually see that they're a real person, read their facial expressions, how they act, how they talk. It's a wild west out there, dude. Blockchain's a wild west. So you need to vet these people yourself, and also maybe even go through a third-party platform like Upwork, for example. You can see people's history. If they have over like 30K, 20K in like deals, and they're like, they have a lot of ratings and reviews that are good, I would go with them. It's just they are more expensive, but you can trust those people much more than some random person on Discord or Fiverr. Even like stay away from Fiverr or Discord for developers.
But Alec, I have to ask the question now, why didn't you do this?
I originally did, and I realized how expensive it was, and I didn't have I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't have the money, because I needed to pay for initial marketing. I needed to pay for the developer. So they were just way outside my budget, 10,000 plus for what I wanted done. And I spent about 4K on the developer. That was within my budget. So that's why I could even show my history of talking to loads of Upwork developers, but they're just all so expensive. Like they're like $80 an hour to $100 an hour. So, but sorry, go ahead.
I got a personal question here. I think I've seen Paul before. Did Paul do a stream with Richard Hart? Yeah, 2 of them, maybe 3 actually. I also did one with Andreas, 2 with Andreas Antonopoulos, Roger Ver, Scott Stornello, the father of blockchain, mentioned in the white paper, and so on. So yeah, I interview a lot of people. I do a lot of streams. Shin Kyokon says, at least this guy is not hiding and accepting his mistakes. You gotta respect that. I agree with that. I agree with that part anyway. A lot of people wouldn't show their face or essentially get online talking about this. At the same time, Atla too has a point here as well. A man owning up to his mistake is at the bar of 2022. Look, it's a tough one, man. It's a tough one.
Yeah.
Is manning up in a nation, man? What happens? Okay, what happens with our money? Alexandre Gino, that's a good question right there, straight to the point. What happens with our money?
So, the money is in a random MetaMask account right now. I have no control over it. What we plan on doing, like I mentioned earlier at the beginning of this call, is we want to continue with Candyland, maybe potentially rebrand the name slightly. But we're going to see how much support we still have, and I believe we have a decent amount. We're going to do things differently this time. We're going to do probably a fair launch using a well-known, vetted platform, not something developed by us. It's going to take a lot of load off our developers. We're just going to focus on the DApp. We're going to get the DApp audited again. I'm still KYC'd, obviously. And then what we're going to do is we're going to try to airdrop everybody once we do another fair launch sale. We're going to try to airdrop everybody that lost money, their tokens still. So you're going to get the tokens still. It's the blockchain. We have history of everybody that deposited their MIM. So we can just pull that, and we can still airdrop you guys tokens. So stay tuned on the Discord. I'm going to be making announcements. If you were part of one of the people that were lost money in this, stay tuned. Otherwise, you might not know if you get airdropped or not, or anything about the project. So. We plan on doing something probably early next year, January.
Right. So Ono for real says he knows you for 5+ years. You didn't take the money and run. He made a mistake in trying to fix it. Laura Mars says, want to fix it? Sell your real life assets and pay us.
Well, I don't have $300,000 in real life assets. If I did, I wouldn't be in this position. So, I mean, I wish I could. I would take all my money and pay you all back. But the only chance of this happening, of you getting paid back, is the protocol actually working again, and a public fair launch taking place via another method that's just like multi-sig, where I can't just withdraw it. It's multiple people. The community picks the people on the multi-sig. And a multi-sig is basically like a safe, right? So you have to have 5 people to unlock the safe. So in order to withdraw the money, you have to have all 5 of those people's approval, or 3 out of 5 with the approval, or 5 out of 7. It depends. So that's just the best way. The only way that, you know, technically you're going to get your money back here. And I'm sorry for your loss generally.
Laura Mars69 says he gave the keys. Show the private chats. I don't understand it either, man. I'm just repeating it. Maybe she can, or he or she can repeat the question a little lower down where you know, I understand it.
Maybe she or he or she's talking about how, I don't know why they would just assume this, but during the time when the dev was telling me to run the script, the script requires me to put in my passphrase the private key. And so I did that, and I ran the script, and we were running into a bunch of errors, and he was trying to tell me how to fix it. I didn't like give him my key that I'm aware of. I wasn't trying to give him my key anyways. I don't know how he got access to it in this case. I was just running the scripts, and he was trying to like tell me what to put in for the scripts for my key, and it was just very convoluted. I didn't know what I was doing. I even asked outsiders, "Hey, does this seem legitimate?" Like, he's asked me to run scripts. Like, the reason why he asked me to run these scripts was because I'm the contract owner, and to deploy the contracts, I have to do it. That was what everyone was telling me, so I just believed them. Yeah.
So your other team were experienced, and they didn't warn you about this. They didn't see anything fishy, anything weird.
I don't want to blame them, but I don't think they really caught anything weird. I mean, I was the one dealing with the developers. I'm the one who hired them. Everyone else was really just helping with the community. I was the one that was dealing with hiring people, and I'm responsible for that. So I don't want to place the blame on those people.
I see here why Alex is not showing the private chats. Were these chats? I think I understand what you're saying. Were these chats you were talking with your dev? Were they in chat, or were they on the phone? How were you communicating?
They're on Discord. I mean, I actually been screenshotting them because they could be deleted by the developer. So I have them screenshotted, and I was planning on sharing them, but I don't want to share his name on a public platform like this just yet. I want to ensure that it's really him, because I don't know, I could have had a virus in my computer that captured my key, even though I reset my password and I was very safe about it, and I do virus scans daily. But it just seems the most likely that it was him, because it just happened so quick, you know, and he seemed like he knew what he was doing. A random virus on my computer probably wouldn't.
A virus on your computer? What, you mean like a keylogger?
Yeah, keylogger or something like that. But the chances of that happening are just very slim. It was probably the developer from the inside. But look, I'm going to show the chats. I mean,
I would let him since he deleted his LinkedIn, I'd show the chats and let him come defend himself. That's just me.
Yeah, that's true. I'll do that. I'll share all of that. So just give me time to do that.
Get some legal counseling on that as well, and see what the people, the forensics team, and everyone also suggests. If I was you, I would do that first. But I would definitely address the situation ASAP. Let me see what else we have here. Okay, number 1, was it not multi-sig? No, it wasn't.
So we had a multi-sig for the treasury balance, but the contract wasn't developed to have a multi-sig on it, and there's no way to have a multi-sig linked, to my knowledge, to the contract and external multi-sig. But there could have been a multi-sig developed, integrated into the contract. I am surprised nobody. I'm not trying to blame anybody, but I'm surprised nobody advised me to do that. I would have done that in a heartbeat. And that's the one mistake that I made and we made as a team, and not having a multi-sig on the LBE contract. This is a pre-sale contract. If I did that, this would not have happened. So that was a major oversight. And that's definitely the first thing that I'm doing with the next sale. If we're probably going to use a launch platform anyways, but whatever contracts have money stored in them, we're using a multi-sig from now on.
Ken Job says, I think the script extracted the seed phrase from his MetaMask.
It could have. I mean, I had to input my wallet address, I had to put all my ENV info, so I don't know what he had on his end. I don't know what he saw on his end. I'm going to release the scripts, and maybe somebody who's more educated in development can explain that. But at this point, I'll just release the scripts, exactly what I ran, and people can maybe tell me what the hell I did.
Laura Mars 69 says he gave the private keys. It wasn't a script. We saw the private chats.
What do you mean? What? I never shared any private chats.
Right, Laura.
Where,
if you're gonna make up, if this is made up, or it's just an assumption, let's be okay. Let's be very careful with what we, there's one thing, swearing and this and that. And there's another thing just saying something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember ever sending out. I never actually pasted. So like, it's kind of bizarre that you would say that because I never shared any DMs with anybody.
Says
Screenshots
a mod showed a chat log. I'm repeating these questions. I'm telling you what's in the chat, man.
No, that's fine. What did they say?
A mod showed a chat log. Why isn't he coming fully clean? We want the rogue dev. Okay, maybe she's just trying to get the rogue dev and trying to.
What do you mean a mod for the chat? Like the mod didn't have access to my private chat with the developer.
Okay.
I was in private chat the entire time when we were discussing the scripts. So
let me just read this. Guys, can you please stop swearing because it just goes into review and like it makes my life difficult. You have a lot of supporters too, man. You have a lot of people that do believe you, Alec, just so you know, but you just have a lot of people that are really pissed off right now.
Sure. It's understandable.
This is actually a good comment, which went into review. I'm going to read it. I know this is a big fuck up, but we're all... Oh, there goes my monetization. I know this is a big fuck up, but we're all just humans. I'm personally not going to demand perfection from this man, Alec. That said, I would like to be compensated. If no compensation... that will just leave it at that.
Sure, no, I appreciate that.
Yeah, okay, so Laura's talking crap. The Jeet dev was so stupid that he moved the funds to a Binance trusted funded wallet. If he did that, then we would know who it is. So, Laura, if you can stop talking crap on my channel, I would really appreciate that. You may have lost money, but I mean, come on, let's give this guy a chance. Let's see what happened. Allegedly blaming and doing, making shit up doesn't really help the situation, whether he's guilty or not.
I'll say this. Let me say this. So that wasn't the developer. There was 4K left in the fund, right? And so what happened was I took it as quick as I could, and I put it in a secure location. Oh. So yeah, that was not the developer. That was me. You'll see a different route of address because that's me. If you look at the original wallet ended with a 9 or something where he took the entire 281,000. So just look at the logs and you'll see that. I had pulled that money because it'll be used. It's hard to compensate people back because I don't know whose money that is because so many people sent money at the same time. So that's going to be used for the development for the protocol to attempt to get everybody's money back. I think that's the most fair thing to do. I'm not using it for myself. It's going to be used for the development of the new D app.
Yeah, and you need to keep some. If you're going to do the new project or the project, you still need to have money for marketing and for development and for the future of the project. Otherwise, it'll just be a meme coin worth nothing. So you need to keep some money from it won't work otherwise. Question. This is a good question. Can you share the script that supposedly stole your MetaMask so other knowledgeable people can study it?
Sure. Yeah, that's what I want. I'll share it. Just don't run it with your information in it. I don't know what it does. I don't know exactly what it looked like. It was deploying contracts or something, but it could be real. It could be fake. Yeah. So, anyways, I'll zip it up exactly how it is right now, and I'll send it. I mean, the wallet. I'm obviously going to change the private key in the ENV because I don't want people accessing the wallet for any reason. But you'll see what exactly it does. You can run the script yourself or whatever you want to do. So yeah, that's fine. I would appreciate that if people would look at it so I can know what the fuck I ran.
Harry ML says, what was Candyland's what was Candyland finances use case?
As I mentioned before, it was a reserve protocol. It still can be a reserve protocol, meaning that it's a token backed by another token, not pegged but backed. So that means it can't go below $1, but it can go up exponentially to whatever value it technically it can. And then also when you stake the token in our protocol, you earn a return on your money. This is a very well known phenomenon right now. It's a very new technology. Started this year. So I was kind of hopping on board on a new tech train here, and it's a really, really, really cool protocol when it's done correctly. So I recommend you look into them. Wonderland Time, Hector DAO are some really good trusted ones you could trust with no issues. And we will be coming out with our own completely secure this time around. But it's a really good way to make passive income if you do it correctly. So.
Okay. Just going through the questions, see what I have here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of positive chats as well. You know, they feel sorry for you as well. They feel that you know, you didn't do it, and you know, they feel that they're actually saying, some are even cheering you on, as in to keep going, man. Just letting you know that, because I know you're worked up. I see you're worked up. I see you're emotional. I just wanted to let you know that as well. So it's not all bad. It's not all bad.
I appreciate it very much.
The chat just all moved. Sorry about that.
That's YouTube for you guys. Anybody have any questions for me? I mean,
that's what I'm looking, man. And that's what I'm looking at. Yeah, here's one. I'm giving you the hard questions, man. MNDX, Elixium. Anyone knows not to run any .exe file without verifying it. How do you think you can run a project like this if you don't even know this?
It wasn't a .exe, it was a Node.js script. So I used command prompt to run a script. I can even show you the files and everything. It's a script. It's not just a fucking it's not just a program that you run. I'm not that moronic. I studied cybersecurity in college for a year, and I would obviously never just run some random .exe, man. I would run it through like a billion scans before I did that, or I would get feedback before I did that. I ran a script because I was told to. I was even advised, yes, that's fine to run that by third parties. So I ran it, not third parties, my team. They said, yeah, that seems kind of normal. You know, you're just deploying the contracts. So I did it. Yeah. Hopefully that answers your question.
MNDX again, you are acting like you are technologically inept. Why should we trust you to be responsible for an OHM fork with billions of backing assets?
Yeah, so you can trust me because I just made the mistake. I know what not to do now. I know that I should be vetting these people that I work with significantly, especially if I'm putting my butt on the line. You know, I KYC'd myself with Assure. There's potential legal issues there now if people, you know, really wanted to spend a bunch of money to try to sue me for some reason, even though they lost $1,000 to $2,000. There's potential. I mean, how I would just do this to myself, man. I want to be secure as possible the second time around. We're going to have as I said, a multi-sig on every contract that holds funds. Every contract that holds funds, we will develop a multi-sig into it if possible. I made the mistake of leaving the routing up to me for the money raised, meaning that I had the ability to just pull the money out and route it anywhere I wanted. That's going to be changed. We will try to put a whitelist or route whitelist to where it can only be routed to one address. And from there, that address will be super secure with a multi-sig. So then we'll be able to reroute it to multiple contracts, because you need to be able to route the money. I mean, you have to put it into liquidity, to treasury. There's multiple contracts you have to put the money into. to create liquidity and boot up the protocol. I learned my lesson, man. And the first time around, I was trying to be as secure as possible. Anybody that was with me in the project knows that I was just ignorant to the fact that there's certain things I just shouldn't do and should do. So
Harry ML is asking, how old are you?
I'm 25.
25. All right. Xzoom M3R says the script gave him your key. You just said the script asked for your private key. I don't know.
Yeah, so there's a file, you put your private key in, your phrase, because it needs that to access your ownership to deploy the contracts. In layman's terms, it's essentially what it's doing. It's seeing if you are the owner of the contracts so that it can deploy it can link up to the D app. That's what I was told. And so I had that placed in the text file in a folder on my desktop. And people told me that's a big no-no. You don't put your ENV in a text file on your desktop. So, I mean, and also I hadn't have used MetaMask much before, and I didn't understand the severity of my private key. I thought it could be changed. I was very ignorant to that fact. I had multiple wallets on MetaMask as well. So for marketing for the platform, everything. And he had access to my primary one with ownership because that's what I needed to put in. So yeah, that was my mistake.
How do you think you can change your private key?
Well, I don't know. I just thought that. I know that you could change your password, and I never had changed my password before on there. But when I tried, I saw that you couldn't change your private key, and that was after the fact. So, I just a big fuck up on my part.
Yeah, but
it's
the
yeah.
basic. This is the basic. You just can't.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I honestly didn't know. Because I haven't used MetaMask much before. I'm used to centralized wallets, and I don't invest in a lot of shit coins.
Can you change your private key on decentralized wallet?
I don't think there's even. I use Binance, so there's no private key. It's a password and two-a-thon.
You can change your public key, but you can't really change your. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Who's Descartes?
He was a marketing guy on my team. He wasn't very happy with the way that I handled things. He was advising me, and I don't want to throw him under the bus or say anything bad because he thinks I'm trying to do that to him, but I'm not. He was advising me to tell a lie to the community that the funds are safe and that we're working on rerouting the funds to a different platform because we're having technical issues. We were having technical issues for the mobile devices, and somebody seemed to have added liquidity and it screwed the prices up. So we were going to redeploy. So that part was true, but it wasn't the whole truth. The funds were not safe. So I didn't want to say the funds were safe. I wanted to be outright truthful in the call because there's 70, 100 people waiting for me in the call. So I joined it and I told this blatant lie, and somebody called me out on it. He's like, well, if it's your address, send AVAX to it and send it back. And I was like, you know what, man, I'm just going to tell you the truth. So I explained everything like I wanted to do originally. And me and my brother actually vehemently discussed this with them. Like, look, man, we want to be as honest as possible. It's my neck on the line here. I don't want to look bad at all. I want to be as honest as I can, as I've been this entire time. I've been transparent throughout the whole project. If you look at my announcements and all the documents I have, we've been very transparent. I've been very active within my community. And I didn't want to have to lie. If I did have access to the wallet, I would have done it. So like, obviously I don't have access to the wallet. I would have kept the lie going and if I'm rugging, and I would have sent the AVAX and sent it back to myself, and people would have saw, oh, hey, my funds are safe. But no, it wasn't my wallet. It's not my wallet. So I had to admit the truth. I was caught in a lie and I had to admit the truth. So I did that. And that's what I wanted to do originally. I know maybe you don't believe that, guys, but Novair and Cody and my brother were in the call at the same time the marketing team was, and they told me that they were really arguing for me to tell the truth when the marketing team was telling me, hey, look, we need to do the best thing here. They had the best idea in mind, or the best outcome in mind. They wanted to try to save the project and pay people back. And that was their method, was to hide the fact so there's no public freak out.
Yeah.
But it's best to be honest with people, especially when there's a lot of money involved. And that's what I wanted to do from the get-go. So Deckard's just not very happy about that.
Yeah, it says here, Laura says, Deckard copied and pasted the chat on another Discord, the chat we were talking about earlier on.
What chat?
That's why Laura,
Okay.
what chat? All right.
Okay. Well, look, you guys can. I don't know what you guys are talking about, but you can DM me on Discord.
Yeah.
Um, I don't understand Deckard even having access to my chat. I think I actually I actually got advice from him um, on if this is trustworthy or not. I think I was talking to him before. Is this like a trustworthy script I should be running? Because I was completely ignorant to what I was doing. So I was asking him. I asked my partner Novair. He seemed like, yeah, the script seems pretty normal. So I was trying to get advice. I wasn't just blatantly running a script. Um, so hopefully everybody understands that. But yeah, go ahead.
Why don't you have verified third-party auditors to guide you if you're not 100% comfortable? I know we're going back and forth to questions right here, but this is an AMA.
Yeah, I did have an auditor look at everything, and it all came back green. It came back positive. No severe issues at all. It was by CTD Sec. I have the audit report. It's not very detailed, but the audit cost me $2,000 out of our own money, and we wanted to do that beforehand to ensure everything was secure. The audit couldn't catch if somebody has access to my wallet. That's not the point of an audit. The audit is the point of an audit is to see if there's any backdoors in the contract. In this case, there weren't that they could find, and also that it's secure. So,
all right, is it being traced, and can it be traced with the addresses?
That's what we're trying to do. I have people looking at that. I'm obviously not going to reveal the public to our exact process of that, but anybody that has experience in this field, we'd love to take you on and get help doing this because we want to try to find where this money is going to go. We'll watch this as long as we possibly can. Even if I launch Candyland as a complete success and people get their money back, we still are going to be watching that address. We're going to find out who did this one way or another. So we're going to ensure that everybody gets their money back as best as possible. Best case scenario, obviously, would be to get this guy or girl to give the money back to everybody. Yeah, we're going to be watching that heavily, and we're trying to figure it out.
Got you. Laura Mar 69 says, I want to clarify, the one that's giving you a hard time says, I want to clarify that I do trust what Alex says. I just want the guy responsible for this.
Of course. I appreciate your concern, your questions, because it's good to ask those, especially in this market. I want the guy as bad as anybody. Trust me. Me and my team are devastated. If you saw my physical reaction when I learned that I lost $300,000 worth of people's money, I felt like throwing up and passing out at the same time. It was the most horrible experience I've ever felt. And we're going to ensure that never happens again, at least for my sake, not feeling that again. So that's the honest truth.
Cool, man. Why did, just a question here, why did you not use a ledger or Trezor? It seems like such a rookie mistake. You talk about how to change passwords, etc. A ledger would have saved you a whole thing for $130.
I know. I know it sounds like a meme, but 4 days before that, I ordered a ledger. I ordered a ledger S or X. I forgot which one I ordered. It's in the mail here. It's just coming soon. I should have waited until I had that. I was planning on using that for my personal funds, for security, and for any funds that would no funds related to the protocol would be held in my wallet in the first place. Normally, what we really were wrong was this LBE, which is liquidity bootstrap event, pre-sale, and the contract was just not secure. It wasn't secure. Anybody with my wallet had access to just withdraw the money, and that's what happened. So it was a complete oversight, an honest rookie mistake oversight, and that definitely won't happen again. I believe if this didn't happen, the protocol would be totally fine. Everything would have been completely fine. Everything else was secure behind a multi-sig. There would be no other way to get the money out. I just fucked up in the front of the start, and it looks really bad. So.
MNDX says send it to a third-party auditor who runs it all in a virtual machine.
Sure. Yeah, I'll do that. Actually, that's a good idea. That's a really good idea. I'll send it to the auditor I paid. Yeah, I'll do that.
All right. Where did you hire the dev? Oh, you already mentioned for the people that are coming now, yeah.
Yeah, crypto devs the Discord server. So if you just literally Google crypto devs, no space, you'll probably find the crypto, just type in Discord server. You'll probably find the Discord server for that. I hired him before they had this new security measure where you have to be an active person with a lot of rep to be a developer on there. They just changed that. So now you have to be an active developer or active person to get the developer role. I hired them when there was just random people posting, hey, I'm a developer. I probably talked to 30, 40 people on there claiming to be the developers, and I was vetting them the best I could. This guy is one of the 5 people that linked me as LinkedIn. I thought it was a real LinkedIn. It ended up being fake information. He since deleted it.
Which country was it from? Do we know, or?
So right now we have an idea, but he claimed to have been from the United States, actually. And that's seemingly not the case because we found some data on who we think it is. That's seemingly not the case. He lives in some other country, completely different from the U.S. with a different name. He looks different, everything. So, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, it says here, I agree with this one. If the community that originally invested, and even those who did not stick behind the project, I believe, and even those who did not stick behind it, I believe that it can be revived, and in that fashion, it will have a real, true community belief pack. Yeah, I agree with that. If people stick behind it, yes, truly a DAO, yes.
That's true. A DAO is in itself a community-driven protocol where everybody benefits. I had somebody last night in the call really word it well. I know everyone's mad. He said this. I know everyone's mad, but look, if we actually get behind this project still, we can still make it work and we can get our money back in time. If we really want our money back, that's what we have to do. And then they would all the community would vet that everything is secure before we have them put their money into it. So we would, it's very community driven is where I want to be. I was building a real community and I worked very hard to build a community. I was extremely active in the chat with everybody. And so it hurts to see the community in this position right now because I know I worked really hard on building it up. So I appreciate that. You're very correct. I hope to see that happen.
MNDX says you could have just spun up the contracts yourself in Remix.
I don't know how to do that. I have a vague fundamental idea of how you remix. You know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna probably do it this time around myself. I'm gonna launch the contracts myself. That way there's no funny business going on. I understand Remix exists. I know what it is. I've been learning a little bit how to read functions. I'm not a developer. I'm not a programmer. So I went into this with zero knowledge and I came out with probably like 25% knowledge on how to read contracts. So next time around, I'm going to look into doing that myself. And that way, because I can only trust myself, obviously. And I wish I could show you the feeling I had with trusting these random devs. I didn't want to do it. But I was there was so much potential and money to be made and pressure on me getting it done by a bunch of people and myself that I kind of rushed it. Even though I felt like I was taking my time, in hindsight, I rushed it. So.
Okay, Alexandra Ginot says, I have a question. Imagine your plan to get our money back fails. What happens with your KYC? They must give you to authorities. It's an obligation. What happens in that regard?
So in the worst case scenario, the new startup fails, which I don't see happening, by the way. If we do it correctly, the KYC, I talked to the owners. They won't release it to the public at all. That's not the point of what they do. If you go into Assure DeFi and you read their Q&A, you'll get their frequently asked questions. You get exactly what they do. I don't want to speak for them, but if you go over there to their FAQ section on Assure DeFi, you'll see that that's what they do. I don't want to speak for them or tell you what they're going to do because that's legally not something I should do. So go over there for yourself, look at what they're responsible doing with my documents, and just go from there.
Nice. ASDFD, where do you come up with these names? Says there are people that were kicked from Discord last night when they were freaking out. Are you going to allow them back in? Yeah,
it was one guy. I should have muted him, but it was so much going on. he was screaming in the mic or saying the most dumb stuff ever, man. I was trying to have a legitimate explanation. I was trying to give an explanation and have a legit conversation with everybody. And he was just yelling in the mic, scammer, rug pull, nice rug pull. And I was like, dude, come on, let me speak and explain the situation. I know he was mad, but it sounded like he was just memeing, to be honest. And I meant to mute him, but I kicked him in the frenzy of everything. He can still rejoin, by the way. I kicked him. I didn't ban him. I kicked him, so he can rejoin. If you're listening, dude, just rejoin, man. You still have a chance to get your money back. When we launch the project, the airdrop will go right to your wallet. So if you want to keep up to date what's going on, keep looking at the announcements in Candyland.
Alessandra says, how come you are alone doing that project?
I'm not alone. I have friends. I'm the face of it, so I'm the one taking the hit for it, obviously. But I have people. I have a whole team, a legitimate team behind me, a train of people. I had 5 community mods, 5 staff members, 4 core members, and then 3 developers. And I felt pretty secure. It only takes one bad apple in the project to ruin the reputation of everybody. That's an unfortunate reality of what I just experienced with Candyland. So I know it looks like I'm alone and I'm doing this on myself, but I'm the one who did create this project. I built the team, so I'm taking responsibility. But yeah, I'm not technically alone in this.
Yeah, okay, in hindsight, okay, I'll ask this anyway. Lucas says, why don't you KYC this dev? You get access to your private key to freelancer dev and you don't KYC him. Yeah, he's asking why you didn't KYC him. Okay.
And that goes back to my budget. It's expensive to do that. It cost 1 ETH, usually 1 ETH, which was at the time $4,500 or something. I forgot what it was exactly, but they were running a sale for 3K. I negotiated to 2K. Even that was a lot of money for me, because I'm going to tell you this much. I didn't have over 10K to invest in this project, and I was using it very carefully. So I wanted to KYC myself as on the face of the project. I really wish I had the money to KYC him. I would have rug doc KYC'd him, which is much more detailed KYC. Sorry, much more detailed. They do a video chat and everything with the guy. Next time around, I really want to try doing that. If I can get a good price on it, I don't have much money to spend, but I want to find someone maybe who self KYC themselves with rug doc or Share DeFi. Because I do agree, I wish that everybody on my team, I wish I had the money to KYC everybody on my team. And that was the plan after the launch, because we would have had money to do that. I would have taken that out of my personal money and I would have KYC'd everybody instantly. But initially I did not have the money, dude. And I know a lot of people would have said, well, save up more money and start the project. I really wanted to hop on this new protocol as soon as possible and build something and capitalize on the growth of this protocol. Before it went to the moon, it was super saturated, and even in development it became super saturated. And so that's why I felt a little bit rushed, the holidays coming up. Hindsight, I would have waited till January 1st to release this and ensured everybody was secure, but that's hindsight. I mean,
you got entrepreneurs FOMO.
Exactly.
Entrepreneurial FOMO.
I had entrepreneurial FOMO. That's the way to put it.
I think Kinjob says, I think rug seekers can help.
Rug seekers. If you could DM me on Discord, rug seekers, and whatever their link is, I would appreciate that. I'm looking at any option, any community suggestions. Yeah, and then maybe they can give me advice on how to proceed with this the best manner possible. I would appreciate that. I'm willing to listen to anybody who has experience in this field. So,
Harry ML just had a good idea. You should make a documentary about this.
If this, I'm going to say when, because I like to talk like this. When this project ends up doing well, we'll see.
Yeah, because it goes into conjunction with what XZooM3R says here. When this project is revived and does well, it could come as one of the greatest crypto comebacks and comeback stories.
We're trying our best, man. People have lost millions on this protocol, millions of dollars. I lost 300K. It's a lot of money, but people have been hacked and lost millions from their protocols exactly like this. They've recovered. They're doing very well. I think it's absolutely possible for the same thing to happen for Candyland. With the right community support, absolutely possible. And everybody, you can just watch. You don't even have to invest. Watch the protocol, how it's doing. Let me gain your trust. Don't just bull into it right now. Do your own research over time. But you'll see that I'm going to be taking the most secure measures I possibly can, and we're going to be doing this a different way this time around. So.
Have you thought about approaching a documentary filmmaker? It would be a nice. Oh yeah, it would be, man. It would be.
We'll see about it, man. I'm concerned about getting people's money back first.
Yeah, of course.
And saving the protocol. I'm not in this for the fame or the clout, at all. If I were, I've done it a different way. But yeah, no, I'm on here today to try to explain my side of things. And I appreciate Paul doing this for me. Because I want to give the story out there, exactly how it happened. There's so much misinformation spreading in communities right now, crypto communities that I was active in, about me rugging. And I hope they see this and they see that they can read by my body language and how I'm speaking that I didn't rug. It'd be I'd be the worst rugger in history if I rugged. I'd be the dumbest rugger. You can read into it and be like, oh, he's doing this on purpose. He's trying to hide the fact that he did. Dude, it's so much easier to just hide my face, not KYC, and I'll be gone by now. I'd be in Florida on the beach by now. Like, you know what I mean? I'm trying to revive this project and keep my hands off the money as much as possible. So it's just genuinely a fuck up, dude. So please understand. Sorry for swearing.
Got you, man. Alex, have you contacted authorities or plan to?
There's nothing they can do. I mean, it'd be pointless. I'm going to be calling my local authorities to tell them that they might be getting calls about a SWAT, because people will probably find my address inevitably and try to harass me and my family in a very dangerous, stupid way by swatting us, which doesn't help anybody at all. Just hurts the situation. You're hurting an innocent person and my family. So that's definitely something I'm going to do, is call the local police. But reporting this to the police, I've been scammed before online, thousands of dollars. They don't care. I mean, they do care, but there's nothing they can really do about it. All right. It's not big enough to get their attention. If this was a $60 million, $50 million loss or something, even $5 million loss, maybe they'd be more interested, but they don't care about people losing 2K max each or 300K total. That's just the fact. I can do it. I can prove that I did it. It's not going to change the fact that they can't do anything, man. Like our best approach is a vigilante approach, where it's the blockchain, dude. It's unregulated. It's the Wild West. So
yeah. So what are your plans right now? Let's put everything in a summary, okay?
Sure.
What happens now, right this second?
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to answer questions in my Discord server, alleviate a lot of stress that people have, help everybody feel secure again and get that security back. That's my plan. And then I'm going to be talking with my team who's still with me. And we're going to be forming a plan to initiate this exactly. We have an idea, like the airdrop and stuff, using a launch platform. We might even use a different network that's supported on these launch platforms, because I think AVAX isn't supported on a lot of these platforms. So we'll see about that. But a detailed announcement will come later this month or beginning of next year, early January, like we're talking the first week of January. So do stay tuned for that. I'm going to be giving little micro updates in the announcements, because I'm seriously going to be trying to figure out a way to handle this. For now, though, I'm going to clear my head, and tomorrow I'm leaving to see family. I'm going to spend time with my family and spend Christmas with them. And then after that, it's just back on the grind as usual.
Did they invest in the project? You're going to have a great Christmas lunch.
Yes, they did. They did invest in the project. I had family invested in this project. So that was hard to deal with, but they're my family. They support me. They understand I didn't rug pull them. They've known me my entire life. It'll be an interesting conversation with them for sure. But they saw that I was able to raise, me and my team were able to raise $300,000 in 2 hours. This is a very powerful protocol if you do it correctly. And if that money alone was allocated to the DApp, we'd be up and running and nothing would be wrong, because we secured the DApp completely, multi-sigged and everything. But yeah, that's the plan moving forward. So if anybody's interested, still trust me, believes in the project, doesn't trust me but wants to be proved wrong, hop in the Discord and pay attention to the announcements. And we're going to try our best to get you guys' money back. For those that were invested, that are upset, I'm sorry that loss happened to you. I have personally felt the feeling of getting scammed and losing thousands of dollars multiple times, because I do a lot on PC and on the internet. So I understand the feeling of this. I just had the same hit, and so I'm sorry. So stay tuned.
All right, awesome, man. And I'm gonna hold you accountable. We're gonna have you back on the Crypto Factor to see what you do and how you do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thanks guys for watching this. Thank you, Alec, for doing this. By the way, if it's your first time here, if you're watching this and you like these kind of videos, you like 60-second videos that get straight to the point, daily cryptopreneurship videos. If you like interviews, if you like, basically check out the channel. If you like it, subscribe. Maybe so you can also see an update to this video and get Alex back on here and see what's going on. Thank you very much, man. I really appreciate you and I appreciate every one of you as well.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.